financial literacy, and the human condition with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim.
I'm Jess, and I am joined by the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim, for our Hug Highlight Reel. Hi.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
And I'm doing really, really good. We're talking about the hidden cost of monthly payments, and it's not the interest rate.
Yeah. We all think it's the interest rate, right? You're paying too much interest for something. That's what's really dragging you down the rabbit hole. It's easy for me to be sort of glib from my side, knowing the solution, knowing that it works, and having this history of, whatever it is now, 18 years, I think, of members doing this successfully. But the hidden cost of the monthly payments, even though we obsess over the interest rates, is really not the interest rates as much as it is the timelines. Okay. So to give you an example, most people will tolerate their mortgage because it's at, and I know rates are up right now, but let's say that you've got an older mortgage and it's at 4 or 5%. You're walking around going, okay, I can tolerate my mortgage. It's at 4 or 5%. It's going to take a long time to pay off. It's okay. I'll just pay it.
Right.
Now, interestingly, some people will say, no, I want to pay my mortgage off, and they'll throw all their extra money at their mortgage, when in reality, it probably is not the smartest debt, depending on your debt schedule. Okay.
Because the interest rate's lower than, say, a credit card?
Because if you there's always two answers. In the real world, it might be where you want to throw your money. In the hug your money world, there's probably a better way to do it. And it's probably your last priority debt, but it's probably paid off along with all your other debt in most of our clients are 9 years or less. Not to sound like an ad, but without harming your credit, folks. And without having to pay extra money. Just use the patented system and get this stuff gone. So it sounds like there's a little double speak here, because I'm saying the cost is in the timelines. And then I'm saying, but your mortgage might be your last priority debt. But what people don't recognize are things like this. A home equity line that is interest only. Now that will never, ever get paid off if you pay the interest only, because you're not paying anything on principal, which is why they're designed by banks to be like a 10-year drawdown period. Then it amortizes, which means it becomes a stream of payments like a fixed mortgage would over a 15-year timeline. But what that means is if you have a home equity line, you pay it for 10 years, interest only, which is what most people do, even though we all say we're not going to do it. Most people do it because they can't afford to pay more, right? So you make interest only payments for 10 years. If you're the bank, this is great work if you can get it, okay? You pay interest only for 10 years. Then it becomes a 15-year mortgage. Now, all you've done is pay interest for 10 years, if that's the case. You haven't chipped away at the principal at all. Now you're going to get a new 15-year mortgage, which means the payment is going to be probably certainly higher than the interest only, and maybe higher than you would have expected. And if you don't take that route to pay it off over the next 15 years and you refinance again, guess what you're doing?
Another 10 years of not paying on the principal.
All the interest. So all of that interest, even though you love that little tiny payment, is out the window. That's one area where the timeline of a home equity line managed improperly. I'm not saying home equity lines of credit are bad. We recommend them in certain cases.
Okay.
But if you manage it improperly, it's like a car payment you never get rid of. Another place is a credit card with a teaser rate. So you get this credit card, and it's one of the credit cards that charges you a small amount monthly compared to your balance. Most credit cards don't charge you based on the interest rate. They charge you based on their formula.
Okay. And they can make up whatever formula they want?
Most of them are between 2 and 4%. So here's how it works. You owe $5,000 on a credit card, and their formula is we're going to charge you 2% every month. That means your payment is $100 a month, right? So 5,000 times 2% is $100. So that's their formula. Quick, down and dirty math. You owe 5,000, give me $100 a month. Okay. Now that $100 a month, that 2%, right? That's 24% a year if we're using simple numbers to not get complicated, okay? That means you're paying 24% a year. What if your interest rate is 29% a year?
Oof.
You're going backwards, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's only 24% a year, you're not making any headway. And if it's 19.99, you're paying off, 4%, 4.1%, if you will, per year in principal. It's going to take you forever to pay that off.
Okay, so how do you avoid that?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Put it in a system like ours. Watch it get
Right.
muscled down and paid off quickly, right? The point I'm trying to make here really is when you look at that 19% interest rate, especially
Mm-hmm.
inside our system, because that may be the first priority debt, it may not. This is
Okay.
dynamic, so it keeps shifting around. But
And
when
I think you
look at
normally
it,
would think that whatever my highest interest rate would be my priority, right?
you would, but if it were that simple, we wouldn't have a patent. So, okay. So, I mean, you
Yes.
can do it that way, but it's not going to be as fast or as sophisticated as what we're doing. So,
Okay.
but when you put it in the system, even though you might have that 19% interest rate and you might want to take your money out of your 401k and pay it off because it bugs you, when
Mm-hmm.
you see it paid off quickly and you can see the progress, then you can say, okay, yes, I don't like that interest rate, but when it's combined with all of my other debts, and I can see the timeline I'm making on everything, I can see my effective interest rate, what we call AIR, hug effective interest rate, for our members is mostly less than 3%.
Wow.
So they're going to get their 19%, but they're not going to get it for very long. And the long is the hidden cost of the monthly payments. You know, once you see your timelines, the decisions get a lot easier, believe it
All
or
right.
not.
Super interesting. If you want to find out more about this, phone number.
Sure, 413-773-3333 or
hugyourmoney.com.
underwritten by
Hug your money, it's where you belong. Your future's waiting steady and strong.